Howdy, guys. It's time to learn about electrolytes. We're going to continue with our solutions unit here. Now, let's just do a flashback and just remember an ionic bond is between a metal and a nonmetal, right? So, good examples are sodium chloride and magnesium oxide. They are from opposite ends on the periodic table. They have completely different polarities, right? Different electronegativities, right? And then the covalent bond is between a nonmetal and a nonmetal. So those are things that were close together on the periodic table. Those were, except for hydrogen. Hydrogen is weird. So if we were to identify KBr, well, K is on the left side, Br is on the right side, so that's ionic. Nitrogen dioxide is covalent, and then zinc chloride is ionic. All right. So when you put an ionic compound and a covalent compound into water, they will actually act very, very, very differently. Okay, they're very different from each other. So an ionic bond will dissolve into ions. All right, imagine that. So if we have our net ionic equation here where we have NaCl and it turns into sodium plus and Cl minus, those ions are just swimming around in a homogeneous solution, right? So because of these ions in a solution, this allows for electricity to be conducted. This type of solution is known as an electrolyte. Okay, so if it conducts electricity, it's an electrolyte. So good examples are NaCl and either acids and bases. Okay, so let me tell you about this. Let's keep going. So guys, just remember, it's the ions that make it an electrolyte. That's really all you have to know. So if it doesn't have ions, like a covalent bond, it does not dissolve into ions. Okay, so sugar stays as sugar. All right, so sugar is not an electrolyte. It's called a non-electrolyte. Because it has no ions, there is no electricity conducted. So the light bulb does not turn on. That's what you wouldn't see. And we would not see these ions right here. So you may think that just because Gatorade likes to sell you a lot of sugary drinks, the reason why it tastes good is because it's sugar, but the taste has nothing to do with how many electrolytes it's giving you. You mostly just get the electrolytes you need from ordinary tap water. All the magnesium and calcium that's dissolved in there, those are magnesium ions and calcium ions. Those are just as much ions as you need to survive. Even if you are exercising a lot on a hot day, you still probably only need drinking water. Gatorade just likes to make you think that so that they make more money. So I'll get off my soapbox. So basically what you need to know is that if we have a few electrolytes, we will have a very kind of dim light. So something like tap water will actually have a very dim light, but something like pure water will have no light because pure water doesn't actually have any electrolytes. And something like salt water will have a very bright light, okay, or an acid or a base. So tap water versus pure water. Which one is going to be the electrolyte or the stronger electrolyte? Well, that would be tap water because it has minerals. Those minerals make it and make the ions. Gatorade or sugar water? Well, Gatorade, that's because they actually add some salt into there to make it to give you some electrolytes, but that salt ends up making you kind of thirsty. So the salt is the ions, and now we have 0.5 molar and 2 molar hydrochloric acid. You may or may not have covered molarities yet, but molarities are your concentrations. The higher the number, the higher the concentration. So this is more concentrated, which means we have more ions right here. So that means that 2 molar HCl will be a stronger electrolyte. The Dead Sea or Lake Bryan? Well, that's the Dead Sea. More salts, more ions. You can float in the Dead Sea, basically, without any effort, because there's so much salt in there. Lake Bryan, not so much. Now, H2SO4 or methanol. Well, that'd be H2SO4 because that is an acid, starts with an H. And now methanol is is a covalent compound, so that wouldn't work. All right, so acids will split up into ions as well. Salt or sugar? That'd be salt, again, because of ions. Or the bright light or dim light? The bright light, obviously, because the electrolytes light up. All right, that's going to be it. Have a good day.